People with disabilities don't lack interest. They lack opportunity, accessible spaces, and positive narratives.
Hey, welcome. Today we're diving into something huge, something that's often a blind spot in the disability rights conversation: inclusive fitness. So, let's get right into it. So let me just ask you this straight up. When we talk about making the world more inclusive, what comes to mind? Probably work, right? Or school? But there's this massive part of everyday life that we almost always leave out. Any guesses? Yep, it's health and fitness, and this is what's being called the silent gap. We fight so hard for inclusion in all these other super important areas, but for some reason, when it comes to the gym, the whole conversation just stops. And this slide just lays it out perfectly, doesn't it? We put all this energy into making education and employment inclusive, which is absolutely critical. But we've left this fundamental human need, our physical health, completely in the dust. It's a huge omission. So why does this gap even exist? Well, the barriers are literally everywhere, and it's so much more than just needing a ramp at the front door. We're talking about equipment that you just can't adopt, staff who have zero training for different needs, and maybe the toughest barrier of all, this pervasive, unspoken idea that fitness just isn't for people with disabilities. And if you're wondering just how big of a deal this is, look at this number: 1.3 billion. That's how many people around the world are living with a disability. To put that in perspective, that's more than the entire population of North and South America combined. We're not talking about a small group here. We're talking about a massive global community that's being locked out of fitness. And this is where we have to shift our thinking, because this isn't just about someone missing out on a hobby. We have to completely reframe this. For millions of people with disabilities, fitness isn't some luxury, it's not about aesthetics, it's literally about survival. This quote really says it all, and it's a line that just sticks with you. Fitness is not a luxury, it's survival. Just let that sink in for a second. It completely changes the stakes, doesn't it? So what does survival actually mean in the real world? Well, for a wheelchair user, it means training that prevents chronic pain and injury from just getting around. For a person who's visually impaired, it means building the balance and the confidence to move through the world safely. And for so many people, it's about holding on to their independence and their dignity for as long as possible. Okay, so we've talked about the problem, we've talked about how high the stakes are, but the good news is it doesn't have to be this way. So let's shift gears and talk about the solution. Let's imagine what a truly inclusive future for fitness could actually look like. And this isn't some fuzzy, far-off dream. There's a real blueprint for this. I mean, imagine gyms that are digital first, with voice-controlled check-ins. Picture equipment that's actually designed for every type of body. And this is huge. Imagine being trained by people who also have disabilities, and having spaces where everybody, disabled or not, is just training together. That's how you really smash the stigma. And this really gets to the absolute core of it. The problem has never been a lack of interest from the disability community. The real barrier is a lack of opportunity. It's the lack of spaces that are actually accessible, both physically and culturally. And it's the lack of stories that say, yes, you belong here too. And hey, for anyone out there thinking this is just a social issue, let's talk numbers. Let's talk business. If just 10%, only 1 out of every time people with a disability joined a gym, you're looking at a new market of 130 million people. This isn't just the right thing to do, it's a colossal, completely underserved market. It's a public health revolution that also happens to be a smart, sustainable business model. So where do we go from here? Well, it leaves us with a really clear and urgent call to action. It is time to stop treating physical health as some optional extra in the disability rights movement. It's time to make inclusive fitness the standard, not the crazy exception. So I'm going to leave you with this one last thought to chew on. We've managed to redesign banks, workplaces, even universities to be more inclusive. We've already proven it's possible. So why not gyms? Why are we drawing the line at something as basic and fundamental as our own health?